guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first time. This is going to be my first time doing things. I also asked you guys on Snapchat if you had any questions to Snapchat me, so I will also be including that. So to start off, my first time, fight. So my first time ever getting into a fight. Okay, when I was a sophomore, I was either a freshman, I could have been a freshman, I was either a freshman or a sophomore in high school. There was this girl and her name was Abby, and she was like the biggest bitch, and she was like one of those girls who was just so jealous. Like, she was jealous of me for no reason. Like, I was never rude to her, I was never mean to her, I never said anything to her. I was like a loner my freshman year of high school. Like, I didn't really talk to anybody. I was very quiet, I was very shy, and this girl just like did not like me because I was really pretty, but like I didn't even know that I was pretty, you know. It was like one of those situations. So I think in hindsight she was just really hateful towards me because she was like kind of overweight and she was not pretty and all this other stuff. So we had gotten into this really bad fight because this girl was just like a bully. Like, when I say a bully, like I truly mean a bully. Like, I never did anything to her. I never even really spoke to her, and she just like hated me. Like, I was on the lacrosse team, and she was the manager of the lacrosse team. So she would like, you know, manage stuff, and she would just talk shit about me all the time. And she would talk shit about me to like other people who didn't even know me, and then people would talk to me and they'd be like, oh my god, you're so nice, you know, like Abby said this and that about you. I'm like, why would she even say anything about me? Like, I don't know her, I don't even talk to her. So she was a bitch. Okay, so one day I was leaving the lunchroom and I was with my two friends, Tasha and Kelly, and we were just walking out of the lunchroom, and she like took bits of ice and was throwing them at me as I was walking out. And like a little bit of the ice like hit me in like the side of the face or something, and I kind of like said to my friends, like Kelly and Tasha, I was like, oh my god, like I think she was just throwing ice at me. And they were like, what? Like, you can't let her get away with that. So I like stopped and I like turned around and I was like, Abby, were you just throwing ice at me? And she was like, what? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, one of those bullies, like the worst type of bully. Like a bully who psychologically like does stuff to you. Like, will do that and then, you know, not man up to it. So she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. So I turned around and I was like, I just can't. And at this time, I had never really I had never gotten into a fight. I'd never gotten into a fist fight. I'd never really raised my voice. And I think this particular time, or this like happening to me, I think changed me forever, because I just like something snapped in my brain. Like, I was like, I just cannot handle this girl anymore. So I walked back into the cafeteria and they were like cleaning up everything, and the cafeteria person was like picking up all the vegetables from the salad bar, and I saw tomatoes, and I just grabbed 2 huge handfuls of tomatoes, and I turned around. My friend Kelly and my friend Tasha were like right behind me, and I marched right up, and Abby was like sitting at like the popular, you know, like the popular senior thing, like the popular senior table, and they were like, like, we're seniors, like talking, and I took the 2 huge handfuls of tomatoes, and I'm like, yo, Abby, and she like looked up at me, and I threw them like right in her face, and I had like my backpack on, and she like jumped up like she was gonna do something. And I took my backpack and I just like threw my backpack down, and I'm like, what do you want to do about it? And I was just like ready. Like, I was ready to, like, I was literally already ready to attack this girl. And I was probably like 5'2", like maybe 108 pounds. And she was probably like 5'8", maybe like 170. And I didn't care. Like, I had it with this girl. You know, like, she picked on me, she talked shit about me, she was mean and rude to me, and I never did anything to her. So I just like, I did that. And she like jumped up like she was gonna do something, and then she like ran over to me and she just stood there. She was like, and started yelling in my face, and I was like, it was just so telling of who she was, you know, like, would all, you know, pick on the little guy, be rude to the little guy, but then as soon as I was in her face, you know, she just like crumbled, and she didn't do anything. And then this teacher grabbed me, and this other teacher grabbed her, and I just was like screaming at her. Like I was like, you're so fucking pathetic, and now everyone knows you're fucking pathetic. Like, you're nothing but a bully. Like, what is it? Are you jealous? Are you jealous because I'm pretty? Are you jealous because you're fat? Are you jealous because you have a horrible life? Like, I was just like screaming at her, and I was like, I'll fucking kill you. I'm like, you're nothing. You're nobody. And like, it was just, I remember seeing these teachers' faces, because like the teachers kind of had like an area where they could eat really close to where the seniors' table was. And like, all these teachers were just kind of like, and I was so ready at that point to just like punch this girl in the face. And I had never come close to that. I was also really young I was a freshman, and when I was a freshman, I was 13. And when I was a sophomore, I was 14. So I don't know if this was my freshman or sophomore. I think it was my freshman year, but I was like very young for that. Like, you know, I don't know. It was just really intense. So then that girl, because she was like insane, she, like, so all this other stuff. Like, so my mom like went to school to pick me up one day and had our poodle, and our poodle was like peeing, did not poop, just peed. And she like went over to my mom and was like, you better pick up your dog shit, and was like screaming at my mom. And I like came out of class and I saw that, and like nobody's gonna talk to my mom like that. So I like ran up and I was like, what are you saying to my mom? And she was like, your dog shit on the, and like just screaming at me. And I like pushed her so hard, and she like fell down, and she like fell into the dirt. And I was just, honestly, if my dog had shit, I would have picked up my dog's shit and shoved it in her mouth. Like, that girl was just such a bitch. She was just such a troublemaker. And then I went to boarding school, so not everybody like lived at school. I didn't live at school. I mean, I did live at school, but not everybody lived at school. Like, she actually did not live at school. And on one weekend, my boyfriend, when I was like 13, 14, his name was Mark, and he was from Ohio. So like on weekends he'd come, you know, spend the time at my parents' house. So it was him and I. We were alone at my parents' house. My brothers weren't there, my parents weren't there, and I think it was like the afternoon time because it was still light out. And I got a phone call from one of my friends, and she was like, Abby is going to your house, and she is bringing with her like a bunch of people to beat you up. And I was like, okay, like, this is it. I'm just gonna like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like something's gonna happen. And my boyfriend at the time was like so short. He was like as tall as me. I think we both were like 5, you know, like 5'1" or 5'2". Like, we were, you know, really young. So he was like just preparing, like, and, you know, and my friend who had called was like, there's a bunch of people coming. So he's like preparing. He's like, you know, like grabbing like different stuff he could use, and like and I'm like putting my hair up, and I'm like putting sneakers on. But I still knew that there was no way, because this girl was like huge, and I don't know who her friends were, but if people came to my house and attacked me, that I wasn't going to be able to defend myself. So I called the police. I like just without hesitation, like I saw them pull up, and my parents had like a really long driveway, and I saw them pull up, and I just like got on the phone. I was like, hi, like, you know, this is my name, this is like where I live. I'm like, this girl at my school has been bullying me like really bad, and I just got a call from one of my friends that she's coming to my house with like a bunch of people. And so before the police get there, Mark is like, you know, he's like ready to go ham. So he throws open the door, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like too much. So these people were in like 3 cars. They had baseball bats. They had, I don't know what other weapons they had. And we're talking about this like tiny suburban town, you know, little like nothing ever happens. So these people, you know, come out, and they're like all standing in line, like they're about to like attack us. And Mark said something to her on the lines of, he said something about her being Jewish, like something about her being Jewish, like, oh, blah, 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 because you're Jewish, something like that. And I was like, Mark, like, that's not cool, like, don't say anything like that. And she like kind of at that point was like, oh wait, maybe Kristen isn't a bad person, because I don't know what the hell was wrong with this girl. I don't know why she hated me so much. So yeah, so that happened. And then, so this bitch is like, you know, screaming at me. And then it kind of just like fizzled. Like one police car showed up, and it was like a 90-year-old police officer. And he was like, what seems to be the problem here? And I'm like, well, these people just said they were going to attack me and like showed up to my house. So then like my mom came home. My mom was like, what's going on? So they kind of like dispersed. And it was just so stupid. And then like, I didn't say anything to anyone. And my mom had even said to me, my mother was like, just don't say anything to anyone. You don't want the situation to get worse. I myself was like very low man on the totem pole at school. So I wasn't going to say anything to anybody. And the next school week, like on a Monday, I got back to school, I go into homeroom, and everybody in my homeroom is like staring at me, like waiting for me to say something. And I didn't say anything. And then this kid was like, oh, so I heard you had a really eventful weekend. And I was like, oh, like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, because the police got called to your house. Or no, she had turned it around, because this girl was like so psychotic. She had turned it around to where she told like a lot of people so that she could cover her bases, that I had invited her to my house to talk about things, and then I called the police. Kind of like acting like I was like, hey, Abby, let's have tea. And then she came over, and I was like, please get over here. Just so insane. So then my homeroom teacher was like, oh, well, I heard about it too. And like my homeroom teacher like wanted to talk about it. And I was like, look, I'm like, I did not call her over and then call the police. I said, someone called me and told me that she was coming to my house. So I called the police before she even got there, and nothing escalated, nothing happened. So then later on that day, our principal, or like a headmaster, I think it was the principal, called us into the office and like made us talk about things. And he asked her, he was like, why don't you like Kristen? Like, what did Kristen do to you? And this girl had zero answers. Mainly because I had never done anything to her. She was just a bully. She just didn't like me for some reason. She was jealous of me for some reason. No idea. But, it's like sometimes when you have an amazing sparkle to your soul, people see that and they want to like, I don't know, they just want to jump all over you. So he had like kind of talked to us, and because it had become kind of like a school-wide craziness. Because, I didn't have like a ton of friends, but a lot of people knew me after this whole incident that I didn't know. And a lot of her friends that were seniors, after they saw how I defended myself, and they saw like pretty much what like a baby she was, and how much she was, so willing to bully me, but then as soon as the tables were turned, was like, oh no, I didn't do anything. So many kids that were her age really befriended me at that point. So there was like a lot of stuff going on campus. There was just like a lot of tension. Also, I wasn't there for this moment. Hey, sorry guys, my card was full, so I had to change it. So yeah, Mark was just like a shit talker, and he had said something to one of that girl's like friends, and he had like picked him up by his neck pretty much and like strangled him. Like he had he had finger marks like all over his neck. So there was just like the situation was escalating like quite a bit between like my boyfriend at the time, Mark, being like a super like antagonist. Like he was an antagonist. Like he would provoke people. So him being an antagonist, and the school just being small, and people being, and also like he had kind of said stuff about her being Jewish, which I don't know why he would even do that, because like he wasn't like racist or anything, but that had kind of made things even crazier. So the whole situation was just, I think that he was just finding something that like he thought she would be offended by or something. I don't know. So yeah, it was just, I don't know. And also, so this girl was known as like Anal Abby, because the rumor was, because she was older than me, when I was in the 8th grade, my friend Nick had actually told me about this. He was like, oh yeah, there's this girl at South Campus, which is like, there's North Campus, which is younger, and then South Campus, which is like 9th grade and 12. And he was like, oh yeah, and like she was having like anal sex with this guy, which to me at the time I was like, what? Because like I didn't even know anyone that like had sex, so to be having anal sex. So he was like, yeah, she was having anal sex, and he was like fucking her in the ass, and she like fell out of the car, and so everyone calls her like Anal Abby, and that was this girl, Abby. And it's just so funny because I remember hearing that story, and I remember people, you know, talking about her and just like laughing about her. And it's so funny how I never did anything to this girl. I never even like mentioned that story to anybody, 'cause, you know, I didn't care. And that she was like such a bully towards me. So it really shows like people that bully other people are people that were bullied themselves. And I don't know what the resolution of the story, you know, I think that it just like kind of just, it got too much. Like we were going to meetings like every week. I feel like we were going, or every other day we were going to meetings in the principal's office, and he would talk about like at one point she was like, oh, I need to be escorted to my car. Like she was saying that she had to be escorted to her car because that I was like endangering her, that she was like afraid of me or something, which is just so insane that I should be afraid of me, you know. And then she'd said that like I was keying her car. She was like, oh, well, every day when I come back or every day when I get in my car to go, and the seniors, or like our juniors or seniors, they would have their cars this like special like parking lot. So me living at school and not being old enough to drive, it wasn't like I was walking up, you know, to that section and like keying cars. So that was just so outrageous. And our principal saw right through that, and he even was like, you know, no one's keying your car. So yeah, that was the story of Abby. I'm trying to think, like, you know, I actually saw her. I was somewhere, I was visiting Massachusetts, and I was like at a bar or something, and she was like standing in front of me, and I just like didn't even make eye contact. And then, I mean, she looked like she lost weight, but she was still like a bitch, like an evil person from far away. And then I was at the pharmacy that's like near my parents' house, and she was like in the line in front of me at the pharmacy. I just like didn't make eye contact. She's just like a worthless person. I mean, I'm sure she still is. She was a bully, just insane. So yeah, that, you know, this video is supposed to be like about my first, but that was really like my first bullying experience. Okay, but I did ask you guys to send, or like my first fighting experience, to send me some Snapchats. Okay, so I'm gonna watch a few of your guys' Snapchats, and then and then answer your questions, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. Okay, so first of all, we have somebody that sent a message. How did production contact you and Morgan at the end of season 5? Or did you guys contact them so that you could get the other girls back? Spill the beans, Kristen. Okay, so I had actually contacted, because I was still in a hotel after Bad Girls Club after I was like out of the house. They had put me in a hotel because they wanted me to come back, but they didn't know how. And then I had said to one of the producers, well, what if Morgan and I went back to the house and kind of destroyed it? So that was me. Next we have this.
If Oxygen did Bad Girls Club All-Star Battle 3, would you do it?
If Oxygen did All-Star Battle 3, would I do it? Yes, I would definitely do All-Stars. I mean, I would honestly do any Bad Girls Club spin-off show, but you know, it's like I feel like they call me and they ask me about stuff, but then it like doesn't go past a certain tier of interviewing. So yeah, I would totally do it. I mean, I'm a badass competitor. I do CrossFit. I'm a lot stronger than most of the girls. I feel like I'm a lot more intelligent than a lot of the girls also, so I feel like I would have a great shot. So yeah. Okay, this person sent me a picture of their cat and them twerking. Okay, this person sent me a picture of their boobs, and this is why I never do this. Okay. Shower time, and it's like a naked guy. See, as soon as I say send me stuff, that's what I get. Okay, the funny fat kid. Oh my god, send me a picture of a hat. Send me a picture of dominoes. Send a picture of a heart. Dude, see this? I'm like not even joking. I make it so you guys can send me messages, and so I got. Oh my god, this person sent me a picture of their dog. Love you so much. This girl sent me a picture of herself.
Oh, hello. very good.
Okay. Okay, you guys just suck. That's like... Well, I'm happy there wasn't too many questions because of the fact that I kind of wanted to wrap this video up. But yeah, so that was my first fight / bullying experience. I hope that helped some of you guys. You know, that story was like so long ago, but it's crazy how the emotions are still with me because, dude, it's like you never get over that. Like, that girl really was just horrible. Like, she really was a bully, and there's, you know, nothing else I can say about it. It's just so crazy when kids talk about, like, oh my god, like, I'm being bullied for this, I'm being bullied for that. You don't have to be bullied for any particular reason. You can just be bullied because of who you are or what you look like or what you wear, or if someone's jealous of what you wear or don't, you know. It's just people are awful, and people are like, oh, you know, it gets better. Dude, it gets better. Like, high school, so much fun. Like, I loved it, but you gotta have a thick skin, and especially when there's crazy people out there. So I love you guys. Please leave me some comments. Please like my video if you like it. Please share it if you want to share it. And just remember, it gets better. And, you know, like, I have an amazing life. That girl is probably, you know, fat with 10 kids and lives in a trailer, you know? Okay, well, I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.